Okay, so right now we're living through this massive collision. It's like two titans are clashing. On one side, you've got artificial intelligence, right? This revolution that's promising to completely remake our world. And on the other side, democracy, a system that, let's be honest, for all its strengths, feels kind of fragile these days. So what happens when these two unbelievably powerful forces slam into each other?
And that brings us to the central question, the one we're going to dig into. Will artificial intelligence take over democracy? And look, this isn't just some sci-fi thought experiment. This really gets to the core of what our future is going to look like. Will this new tech actually bolster our freedom, or will it end up being the very tool that dismantles it? The answer? Well, it's going to shape everything for generations to come. You know, AI really presents us with two completely different paths forward. The promise, the dream, is a world of just incredible abundance. We're talking massive productivity gains, curing diseases, and a level of daily convenience we can barely imagine. But then there's the flip side, the peril, and it's just as stark. Widespread job loss, unimaginable levels of inequality, and the kind of social and political chaos that can shake a society right to its foundations.
All right, so let's start with the first major challenge, the one that's already taking shape right in front of us. And that's the creation of this giant economic fault line, one that could split our societies right down the middle.
To get a sense of the sheer scale of what we're talking about, just look at this number. PwC, they predict that AI is going to add a staggering $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. I mean, that's more than the entire current GDP of China and India combined. This isn't just some small upgrade. It's a tidal wave of new wealth. But the real question is, where is all that money actually going to go?
And this is where that massive number gets turned on its head. The technologist Kai-Fu Lee, he warns that the real threat isn't some killer robot apocalypse. No, it's the real-world demons of economic despair. He argues that this incredible concentration of wealth could lead directly to social disorder and maybe even political collapse. And here's a brilliant look at the engine that drives that inequality. See, AI just naturally creates these winner-take-all markets. It splits the job market in two, a high end and a low end, and it squeezes out the middle class, which, has always been the bedrock of stable democracies. And because AI runs on data, it creates these monopolies that just get stronger and stronger the bigger they get, funneling all that wealth and power into the hands of a very, very small few.
But this economic threat, that's really just one piece of the puzzle. Now let's see how it builds into a political one. Because beyond just disrupting jobs, AI offers a brand new and incredibly powerful toolkit for surveillance and for control.
A Harvard scholar, Shoshana Zuboff, she actually has a name for this: surveillance capitalism. It's a whole new economic logic where the raw material is our own personal experience. Our lives are captured as data, and that data is then used to predict and ultimately to shape our behavior. And this model isn't just for corporations. As this quote from author Kai Stripmatter points out, China is basically pioneering a form of digital authoritarianism that is becoming an exportable product. For autocratic leaders around the world, it's like a ready-made operating system for social control that you can literally just order up. So, this all leads us to the most fundamental challenge that AI poses to democracy. It forces us to ask some very old, very basic questions about who holds power, but in a totally new context. Shoshana Zuboff argues we have to start with this simple question: who knows? I mean, in a democracy, knowledge is supposed to be shared, right? But in the age of surveillance capitalism, these vast, vast amounts of knowledge about us are held by a select few, and we are completely shut out from it. And that flows naturally to the next question: who decides? Who gets the authority to use all this knowledge? Think about it. When a machine makes a decision about your loan or your job application or even your parole, who is actually responsible for that decision? So this is the crucial point. This is the final question. Who decides who decides? This is the ultimate question of power. It's asking about the very source of authority. Is it the people, acting through democratic processes, or is it the owners of this new surveillance architecture who operate totally outside of public accountability? And that, right there, is the core conflict between surveillance capitalism and democracy.
So what are we even fighting for? Well, in the middle of World War II, the writer E.B. White gave this beautiful, simple answer. Democracy isn't some perfect system. He said it's the dent in the hi-hat, that humble belief in the basic wisdom of ordinary people. It's that fundamental trust in the collective judgment of all of us that's now being challenged.
Ultimately, what's at stake here is our very sense of self. As Zuboff puts it, it's our right to be the authors of our own lives. This isn't just about data privacy anymore. It's about the freedom to have a thought that hasn't been analyzed, that hasn't been manipulated, the freedom to just be. So where does all of this leave us? I mean, faced with these enormous challenges, it can be easy to feel like the future's already written. But that's a choice, not a fact. We can see this as a crisis, or we can see it as an incredible opportunity to completely redefine our relationship with technology.
Let's be crystal clear about one thing. The idea that this future is inevitable is, as Zuboff writes, a narcotic prescribed to induce resignation. It's a story we're told to make us feel powerless. But technology doesn't have its own destiny. It is shaped by our choices, by our laws, and by our values. We absolutely have the power to steer this thing in a direction that actually serves our democratic ideals.
And that brings us right to our final thought from Kai-Fu Lee. We are not just passive spectators watching this story unfold. We are writing it right now with every single choice we make. So the real question isn't what AI will do to us. It's what kind of future we will choose to build with it. A future where technology serves humanity or one where humanity serves technology. The choice, really, is ours.